Hello. This video is going to be a video with relaxing sounds and triggers to celebrate my channel reaching over 500 subscribers. I'm also going to be doing a rambling get to know me as I do these sounds and triggers. So thank you to each and every one of my subscribers for making this channel so great. Thank you, thank you. Now, my name is Jax. I just started my channel a couple of months ago, about 2 months ago now. I started watching ASMR about, I think in 2010 or 2011, so back when it was not even called ASMR yet. It was just the whisper community, or sometimes just the soft sound community. And I think my first videos I saw, I never know how to pronounce it, but it's Amal ZD, I think. Of course, I watched people like Heather Feather, Gentle Whispering, ASMR Request, and some that you probably haven't heard of, because if you haven't been watching a long time, like UK Whispers or Pig's Bum 53. There was a lot of channels that just don't make videos anymore. So I decided to start my channel basically out of curiosity. Like I said, I've been watching so long, and I just wanted to know if I could do it. And I've always been a kind of creative person, and I thought that it would be such a good way to have another creative outlet while also relaxing people. I myself personally struggle a lot with anxiety. I've had anxiety probably since around this time, at the time I started watching ASMR, probably like a year before. And ASMR has always helped me calm down. And so I thought it would be so cool if I could help others with that same issue. So, some of my favorite triggers are light triggers, visual triggers, face touching. I really like certain sounds. I like unpredictable triggers. Peripheral triggers are a really big one for me. And I know that one of my viewers in particular really liked peripheral triggers, so I'm going to try to include those in some more videos going forward. As for my channel and where I see it going, I want to do a variety of ASMR. I don't think I could ever be satisfied with just doing... Sorry, one of my neighbors was being super loud. So, like I was saying, I don't think I could ever be 100% satisfied with just doing the same kind of video over and over. I think I'd get too bored. So I want to continue doing a lot of role plays, a lot of fantasy, and hopefully sci-fi role plays. I know a lot of people really liked the one sci-fi roleplay that I've done so far, and that's pretty intimidating. That video, I had never edited a video really before I started doing this, and that was kind of a huge undertaking for a beginner like me, and I want to make so many more videos like that, but I need to learn how to edit more so that I can keep making those. I actually have a role play planned, a series of role plays actually planned that I think are going to be really cool, and they are part fantasy and part sci-fi. So different characters will be more fantasy based, and some of them will be more sci-fi based. So I really hope I get to make that soon. I think actually I'm going to try to make like a little trailer for it tomorrow, and then I'm going to release the first video this Friday. Previously I've been releasing videos on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. But going forward, I think I'm going to release videos on Sunday, Tuesday, and Friday, so that we can have Fantasy Friday, which will be videos that are either purely fantasy or sci-fi, because to me sci-fi is another form of fantasy. So I have these cool little balls that are for the dryer, and I was looking at them today and I thought, this is kind of a cool sound. So watch when I do this. And I apologize for any background noise. I really want to get some soundproofing to make my videos better for y'all. Right now it's just not in the budget, but as soon as I can I'm going to get some soundproofing, because I live in a busy neighborhood and I have a lot of neighbors that are pretty loud. I also have 4 pets, so sometimes if you hear little noises in the background, it's either my 2 dogs or my 2 cats. And if you hear barking, it's never my dogs really. My dogs don't really bark, but all of my neighbors have dogs and they're very rambunctious. In addition to my fantasy role plays, which I'm going to try to release on Fridays. Sorry, there was an ambulance. So, in addition to the fantasy videos that I'm going to be releasing on Fridays going forward, I also want to do more traditional role plays. I'm not sure what day I'm going to do those on. Maybe on Tuesdays. Like, think doctor role plays, spa role plays, hair cutting role plays. So things that are characters based more in reality. And then the other day I'll either do follow my instructions or some other kind of trigger. I don't know what they're doing out there. Some other kind of trigger focused video that's not a role play. So maybe guessing games, follow my light, that sort of thing. But I'm really excited, and I've really enjoyed creating these videos for you all. this little comb thing, and some of you might know what it is, but most of you probably don't. So you put this in your hair like that, and this little poofy part right here gives your hair volume, so it kind of bumps it up. I'm so sorry that there's so many noises, but you put it in there and it kind of gives it volume. But I just thought, what a cool little sounding comb, you know, because it has this part. And this part here. That might be a little loud, but I like that. So, a little more about me. Like I said, have always been a kind of creative person. In my other hobbies, I really love to write. I mostly write poetry and songs. I play the guitar. I've been playing the guitar since I was 7, and I love to sing. I actually did a battle of the bands when I was in high school. I've just always loved writing and music. I also love to play video games. Don't ask me what video games though, because you'll kind of judge me. But I do love video games. All kinds of video games too. But I usually play the same ones over and over. I love to color. I'm not great at drawing. I'm okay, but I'm not great. Like I said, one of my favorite things is music. I absolutely love music. I know that everybody probably likes music. Well, not some people, but almost everyone. But I've been through a lot in life, and music really was there for me through a lot of things. Growing up, I lived with my grandparents, and I listened to a lot of oldies. I love oldies. So I really love Motown. I love Aretha Franklin and Marvin Gaye. I love the Four Tops. I love the Four Seasons, the Rolling Stones. I mean, I love all of the music from that era. I think probably my favorite bands would be Led Zeppelin and Fleetwood Mac, Queen, and this one's low-key embarrassing because I know that they have a reputation, but Weezer. I really like Weezer a lot. If that says anything about what kind of person I am. I recently found this little thing here. I had another one, but I can't find it right now. But I just think it makes such a cool noise. And if you just focus right there, let me come in and I could even kind of pluck with it up here, and it makes a good sound. I just really like that. You're going to have to tell me which of the scissor sounds you like the best. I have like 4 different scissors. or this is technically like not a scissors, but it's like a cutter of some sort that I have. I think, oh, another one of my hobbies, jewelry making. I love to make jewelry. I think that this was like made to cut wire or something, because I do wire wrapping. But you'll have to tell me, out of all of my cutting tools, which one you like the sound of the best. Some of these I have because I cut my own hair. I always cut my own hair. I've been cutting my own hair since I was like 20. So I've been cutting my own hair for a long time. And I also dye my own hair. Every time I've ever gone to a salon, I just feel like they mess it up. And no offense to anyone who does hair, because I'm sure you're great, but unfortunately the people that I've gone to have just not done a good job. And for me, it's just so expensive that I'm like, look, I can mess my own hair up at home and save money. So I just do it myself now. And I've had my hair almost every color. It's obviously currently red. I've had blonde. I've had, oops, sorry. Oh, someone's moving around. I've had blonde. I've had black, orange, different shades of blonde. I've had brown, and then like an orange red, a bright red. I've had a light blue, a teal blue, a dark green, all kinds of shades of pink, all kinds of shades of purple. Honestly, the green and blue hair are probably my favorites, and I feel like they're always calling back to me. I had a blue wig for one of my videos, and I was like, ooh, tempting. It's making me want to go back to blue. I think if I dye my hair again, though, which I will, more than likely I'm probably gonna go back to green, like a dark, almost blackish green, because I already have the dye for that. So it's kind of just calling me, you know? So this is another pair of scissors that I think make a really great sound. So far we've had these ones and these with the teeth. These are to thin out hair without removing length. And then these kind of little thick boy scissors. So you'll have to tell me. I think actually I have one more pair, so I'll just get to those real quick. So I have these itty bitty ones that make a little like soft sound. So which one is our favorite? Which one do you like the best? Let me know. For now, I'm going to go back to these thick boys right here. Okay. So I have ADHD. So if I get distracted during this video, I apologize. Gosh, I don't even remember what I was talking about at this point. But I know I talked about quite a few things. One of my other favorite passions in life is history. I am a huge history nerd. I just love it. I read articles, archaeological articles on the latest archaeological finds, which if you don't read about those, that's okay. But there literally are so many all the time. There's constantly excavations that uncover new things and new things about humanity and what we believe about humanity. But I am probably cliche as far as a history girl, because one of my favorite topics is Tudor England, and probably my favorite person from Tudor England is someone I feel like a lot of people don't know about. If you like history as well, you probably do, but I'll just go ahead and tell you about her. So, one of my favorite people from Tudor England is Margaret Beaufort. I feel like a lot of people don't know about her, but they know her very famous grandson, King Henry VIII, the one who a lot of his wives. So Margaret, the reason she's so cool to me is because Margaret grew up during the War of the Roses, which is basically when a bunch of royal cousins all started each other to try to get the crown for themselves. So she grew up in a time where all of this is happening, and she was kind of a woman on her own a lot, and she navigated through this chaotic world, and it's literally, she is the reason that her son Henry VII ends up on the throne. I truly think if it wasn't for her, that wouldn't have happened, and history would be completely different. The history of England, perhaps the history of America, and so many other countries would be completely different. So, essentially, she was 13 when she had her first and only child, okay? And this is Henry VII. She has him at 13. It wasn't normal for girls, even back then, it was not normal for girls to have a child so young. But that happened, and her husband had gone to war, and he died. So now she is a widow at 13, and also a single mother at 13. So, and that husband was a Tudor. That's where the name comes from. So her last name is Beaufort. She is royal too. I think it's grandpa, I think it's her grandpa actually, is John of Gaunt, which is King Edward III's youngest son. John of Gaunt was her great-grandpa or grandpa. So she's royal, but it's like not like super royal, if that makes sense. Like, she's kind of really far down the line. She's not going to get the crown unless she like marries the next in line or something, but she's royal, but it's like a minor royal, like a minor noble, you know. So she marries another man, right? And I think it's at this point her uncle is on the throne, or her like second cousin is on the throne that's like an uncle to her, and he is removed from the throne. Her and her husband kind of go back and forth because him and another cousin are like fighting each other back and forth. So one's on the throne, and then they kick the other off, and then they put the other one back on the throne, and then he gets kicked off. And so they're kind of having to play the field because you want to be seen as loyal to whatever king is in charge. So they would be loyal to one king, but then when the new one would come, he'd be like, hey, you guys were just loyal to him. So it was very complicated. But she navigated all of that. She kept her head during a time when a lot of people didn't. But then, I don't know if anyone knows about the two twins in the Tower of London. So they were the sons of one of the kings, and their dad died, and technically the crown was left to the oldest of them. But their uncle, their dad's brother, was like, no. And he has them locked up in the tower. I think that for Margaret, that must have been really scary because she had her son, and she was so worried about her son that she had sent him overseas to hide. So at this time, her son is in hiding. So she kind of gets freaked out because this guy, he locks those twins up in the tower and then they disappear. To this day, we do not know what happened to them. It is assumed that their uncle, but we don't know. Their bodies were never found. So, with that being said, this freaks her out because her whole life is about protecting her son. So she's like, okay, these other kings, I could work with them. I could, kiss up and do whatever. But this guy, he's going around killing people's sons. That's not going to work. So she hatches a plan to get her son on the throne. And like I said, she is a minor noble. Like, she is royal, but she's practically nobody. But she still is like, I'm going to get my son on the throne. And so she comes to the mother of the two boys that were in the tower. She goes to her and, she writes to her, right? And basically tells her, it's Elizabeth of York, I believe. She tells her, I'm going to have my son come. What if my son marries your daughter? Because the daughter technically was the daughter of a king. So what if my son marries your daughter? I put my son on the throne, and now your daughter is queen to continue the family legacy. And she agrees. And so Margaret secretly raises money for an army. She secretly, her and her son's uncle, the other Tudor brother, I think it's Owen Tudor, they get the money for an army. They raise an army. She writes to her son and basically tells him to come back. She had to convince so many people to work with her. And you have to remember, this is in the 1500s, when women do not have a lot of power at all. Women don't even get like a good education a lot of times in that period unless they're noble. So she had to convince so many people to follow her, a woman, and believe in her, a woman, and she did. And so and all this time, she is making it seem like she's loyal to this new king, but she's not. She's just playing him. And so she does all of that, and she writes to her son, Henry VII, for him to come to England. And he does. And he defeats the king and takes the crown for himself. And that is how you get the Tudor dynasty. And it would not exist if it wasn't for Margaret Beaufort. And Margaret Beaufort still remained very powerful after her son became the king. He would confer with her a lot for advice because she was super smart, and she, I believe she outlived him too. So just a really, really cool lady, and probably my favorite lady from that time period. If you like history videos, I can make more history videos, and I can be more detailed. I tried to make this really general because that's not what this video was about, but I hope I got my point across. I love history. I love it. So I feel like I let you guys really get to know me in this video. I am a big nerd. I love music. I love a lot of different, I have ADHD, so I love a lot of different activities and hobbies and things. But, oh, I'm a Libra, if that matters to anyone. So, and I'm basically, as you might assume, if you know astrology at all or care about astrology at all, I'm one of those people who's like, who's to say, right? Like, maybe it's real, maybe it's not. The moon and stars control the tides, right? And we're made up of, like, what is it, like 70% water or something. So who's to say that the moon and the stars don't affect us? I don't know. But if it's true, it's cool. I am a stereotypical Libra, as you might imagine. Very social butterfly. The anxiety I talked about is not social anxiety. It's mostly like health anxiety, or like emotional anxiety, like with people in my life or whatever. Anyway, but I hope you enjoyed getting to know me. I'm just a big nerd, and I am so excited to incorporate all of these unique things about myself into these videos for y'all. And if you like history videos, like me talking about history, let me know that in the comments, and I can make more videos that are more specific and in-depth about history as well. Okay? Well, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to all of my subscribers. You guys mean the world to me, and you've inspired me to keep going and to keep making videos. I was so scared when I uploaded my first video, so thank you all for being so kind. I really appreciate it, and I hope you guys sleep well and have a great night.